Welcome to part 2 of our Europe travel vlog. So if you haven't already, I would check out part 1, which features our first few days in Europe, including some days in Poland, Berlin, where we went to the TV tower and had dinner, Checkpoint Charlie, and a few other historic spots. We had a blast our first few days and enjoyed the company of our really close friends who showed us around and were super welcoming. This is the rest of our trip. I hope you enjoy. Day 4 was my favorite day of the entire thing, and you will soon see why. So after breakfast, we got on the road and headed out to a little town called Bottoms. This is a significant town because this is where our family and our ancestors are from. The first place we went to was in a little town just across the river from Bottoms. The reason we stopped here is because this is the location where a building called Hotel Duke stood, which is the spot where my great-great-grandparents were married, just here along the river. So the building is no longer there. Instead, there's this apartment building, but this is the wedding announcement that we have on record, and the surrounding buildings are still there and match the photos that we have from decades ago. It was so cool to be standing in a place so many years later where my great-great-grandparents may have once stood. We are in Bottoms. This is the town where our ancestors had a butcher shop right here on this corner. We're gonna go over there. This church is located just near the butcher shop. So this is the photo we have of the butcher shop, and we got to compare it to what the building looks like now.
So when I was here last, this door was still there.
We were lucky enough to meet the neighbor, and he was kind enough to give us a short tour of the guest house, which is the building just adjacent to the butcher shop. I absolutely love family history, and I thought it was really cool to be standing right there where my ancestors once stood so many years ago. After the butcher shop, we went next door for some classic German food. We were so stuffed after that we decided to go for a short walk up a little trail that we had seen earlier when we were driving into Bottoms. I had no idea where the trail was leading us, but everyone else seemed to be happy to go along, and I love hiking, so I was excited to see where this trail led.
Yeah, but I don't know if you can see it from the top. That is cool.
I love this. Whoa. So near the top of the hike was this abandoned station that we got to go inside and explore, which I'm kind of obsessed with these decrepit buildings. I think they're so intriguing and artistic, so this was a really cool experience. Whoa, look at this staircase. Just moments later, you will see we experienced some insane activity here. The door both opened and closed by itself. But that did not stop us from continuing. I loved exploring this place with Chris. It was so cool, and once we got to the top, we had this great view out the window, and that is where I looked over and spotted a tower, which I then suggested we should go to the top of. I didn't know at the time. Chris made me think it was my idea to go to the top of the tower, but later on I learned that he was very well aware of our surroundings. There's the house we were in. At the top of this tower, overlooking the city of Bad Ems, Germany, with my family and friends nearby, something very special happened. And this is why it became my favorite day of the entire trip. Maybe ever. You thought that would be the highlight, right? But no, Chris had more surprises up his sleeve.
My German is much better than my English.
Okay.
Chris took us all to this cafe at the bottom of the mountain where he had reservations for a concert with live music, food, and the greatest view of Bad Ems. The music was so romantic, the food was delicious, and after learning about our engagement, they treated us like guests of honor. People gave us gifts, they dedicated a song to us, and they were so welcoming and kind. They even asked Chris to stand up and tell the story of our engagement that just happened moments before.
Guten Abend. No sprechen Sie Deutsch. Hello. Thank you everyone for welcoming us to your country. My fiance and her family, the Dreiss family, are originally from Bad Ems, Germany. And earlier today we hiked to the top of the station, and there's a large tower at the top. And just about 2 hours ago I got down on my knee and I asked Danny to marry me.
Jawohl!
And fortunately she said yes. So we are here to celebrate with all of you in this beautiful location with the music. So thank you for being a part of our special day that we will remember forever. So thank you everyone.
It was the most perfect day, and I could not ask for a more perfect man to spend the rest of my life with.
I had a lot of AA. Lukas, wann hatte ich den ersten mit dir abgeholt?
Both the town, the cafe, and the tower where Chris proposed hold a special place in my heart. I can't wait to go back and visit again many years from now. The next day, our friends took us to a nearby palace. This happened to be the same building they were married in just 10 years earlier. It was beautiful and the grounds were exquisite.
What is the history or the importance of this castle? Who lived here?
The barons or dukes of Darmstadt, Hessen.
After visiting the palace, my dad took us to the original house where he met our friends the very first time he came to Germany. After seeing the house and where my dad used to live, he then took us to his old army barracks. We just came to my father's old barracks when he was a soldier here in Germany. I found the restroom. What? Civilians.
Where I worked.
Buildings were.
Don't touch me.
Well, it might be full of water.
Get electrocuted.
Chris, when you look for the light.
Yeah, that's all it was.
Oh, look at that. It is standing.
After we got back home, we went out to dinner and to explore Frankfurt. The next day we said goodbye to our dear friends and we got on the road heading towards Dresden. On our way we noticed a castle off the side of the road, so we decided to spontaneously investigate and see if we could go up to the top of it. Mulberg, up these stairs. Perfect. There's the castle, and there's my fiance running. Look at this giant mushroom. We made it to Dresden. Dresden was such a beautiful city to explore. There were so many historic buildings and they were all so close in proximity. We took ourselves on a little walking tour to the major attractions and really enjoyed the history and delicate architecture of all of the buildings. Dad got us tickets to go on the Ferris wheel, and we got to watch the sunset over the city. The next day, we got back on the road and headed towards Prague. First potato, boiled potato, mashed potato, potato chips, spread potato, potato.
Look at that thing.
So
We are getting gas. Are we in Slovakia now? Almost. Czechia still?
yeah, we're still in Czechia.
There's always a beautiful view, just like that. We spent our last night in Slovakia. That way we could add one more country to the list of all the places we went. So we're just loading up the car, and I wanted to give you a good look at where we stayed last night. Yep, in there, right next to this abandoned dome. It's better on the inside than it looks on the outside. Would you look at this? Look at him. Right as our morning got started, we decided to go explore this dome-type arena right next to the place we stayed. Just for fun, it turns out it was a goat farm. Hi! Hello! Hello! Hi, goats. Uh-oh, did you fall down? We don't have any food, I'm sorry. Oh, he's so skinny. Hi, baby goats. Hi. Hello. Hello. Hi, little babies. After exploring the goat farm, we headed to the nearby hospital to get our antigen tests done. It was a little bit hard to get the COVID test because of the language barrier, and we're in Slovakia and there's not a lot of places available, but we found a test at the hospital and we're all negative, so these are our tickets back to the US.
I feel like the people watching this in like 5 or 10 years are going to be really confused, like why we need a test and everything. But this was during COVID, and if we don't have a negative test, we can't fly back to the United States. So these are like our tickets home.
Woohoo!
No.
Onion, jalapeno,
No.
olivki.
Olivski.
Olivki.
After lunch, we headed to Auschwitz, where we had our guided scheduled tour, which lasted about 2.5 hours. It was a very surreal experience being there. I'm not going to show a lot of footage from the concentration camp as it's really sorrowful and a sad history, but overall it's important, and it was a very educational tour. We are on our way to the airport. We just parked the car and now we're going in through security. Thanks so much for watching. We really had a blast in Europe. It was a beautiful place to travel to and explore. I hope you enjoyed this montage of our trip, and I will see you in the next video.